Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here with Phylos Bioscience today, and we've got Alicia here with us, and she is the creator of this giant web of basically different cannabis varieties.
Welcome to the Phylos Galaxy. This is a large genetic map of all of the cannabis varieties that we've sampled. We take the genetic data and we distill it down into 3 dimensions, and each of these points on the galaxy is a variety of cannabis. You'll notice that some of the points have a single spot, and that is one sample, one unique sample. This one's called Glacier Goo. And then some of the spots on the galaxy, or stars, are more complex, and they represent a little cluster of genetically identical samples that are one variety. We've just sampled several of them.
So like when somebody has a clone and they've passed that to somebody else, if it was grown in a different environment or whatever, and they all send them in?
Exactly. Like if we went to OG Kush on here, we have 30 or so samples. It's an old variety that's been passed around and everyone still loves it. One of the interesting things also on the galaxy is that you can look at relationships between varieties. These lines are connecting varieties that have parent-child relationships, so you can get an idea of what was crossed with what to make different varieties that are on here.
And this is all done through the STEM test, where they basically wash it in alcohol, send the test in.
Right.
And then all that data goes into here.
Exactly. So we take a little piece of stem, we extract DNA in the lab, and then we sequence the DNA and compare what we get between each of the strains.
Very cool. And how many varieties do you have in here right now?
We've sampled a couple of thousand varieties, and we're adding more every month.
But a lot of these are from dispensaries and things like that then, or large-scale grows that are...
Right, we started with building relationships in the community and collecting varieties from people we knew, from dispensaries, and then we made a genotype test that anyone could send in a little piece of stem, and we'll put your star in the galaxy and tell you a little bit about it. And so now we sell this as a Phylos genotype test.
Very cool. And how long does the typical test take from taking the sample, sending it into you, and getting your star on the map?
Right. It's about 4 to 6 weeks. It's a long process of extracting the DNA and getting the DNA ready to go into sequencing and then doing the analysis. So it seems like a long time, but it takes a little while for us to gather the samples and process them.
That makes sense. So if somebody at home wanted to check this out, they could basically just go to your website and kind of start clicking around. They could even do a search using the search feature and find some of their favorite varieties and kind of trace back that lineage. Is that?
Exactly. So you can use the search feature to find varieties that you're interested in. And yeah, anyone can send us a sample of stem. The way that my lab counterpart has designed this test, it's completely federally legal. You take a little piece of stem, you wash it with very pure isopropanol or rubbing alcohol and let it dry, and then you send it in to us, and you can send it from anywhere in the world.
Awesome. So yeah, it's just a little chunk of stem, basically.
Exactly, yeah. The isopropanol or rubbing alcohol removes any of the cannabinoids that might be on there.
That's awesome. I especially like how it's federally legal.
It is.
It's very cool.
Yeah, so in addition to placing your variety on the galaxy, we also tell you some information about the variety that you've sent in. So here we're locating a sample from Ecoferma Farms that's called Voodoo Chili. And we have a genetic report that tells you about the closest relatives of Voodoo Chili. And this one's a little messy, but its closest relatives are are Gorilla Glue and Alien Dog, and these orange lines mean that all of these Gorilla Glues are really the same Gorilla Glue. We've just sampled a whole bunch of them. And then we tell you a little bit about the genetic novelty. So this is really just telling you how many neighbors do you have on the galaxy. Are you out there by yourself? Are you unique? Are you in a cluster of a whole bunch of different varieties? And so that gives you a little information there. The colors on the galaxy, you might have noticed that the samples are different colors, and that comes from the population profile. And what this is trying to do is just tell you a little bit about the heritage of the samples. Is it related to an old school variety like skunk? Does it have a similar genetic profile? Or is it similar to what we think of as OG Kush? And this variety is actually a hybrid that looks like it has a diverse genetic profile.
Nice. And so the hemp is just testing for CBD traits in it as well.
Right.
So, is there a way to search the galaxy for specific strains that might be higher in CBD? If somebody would like to do that.
Let's go back to the galaxy. Each of those colors from the population profile has a meaning, and so that dark blue is reflective of a high CBD content background. And you can see here that we have a section that has that genetic profile. And if you click on some of them, you can see that this one is AC/DC, which is a well-known high CBD variety.
I've seen that one before for sure.
Right. And then we have Canatonic, which is a 1-to-1 variety, CBD to THC. So several of these that have a blue color in the galaxy are likely to be high CBD strains.
Nice. I might actually use this to find some new strains to grow then.
Right. You could do that. So the genotype is actually what the DNA tell you about the plant. So you inherit the DNA from your parents, and you get a copy from mom, a copy from dad, and that determines your genotype. And then how your genotype is expressed in you or in your plants is the phenotype. So if the mother plant is short and bushy and the dad plant is tall and lanky, then the kids can come out various ways. They still have the genotype that's from their parents, but they might look different. They might be sort of mid-height. They might have purple flowers, whereas neither the mom nor the dad had purple flowers. So the phenotype is really how you look, your stature, and the genotype is what you got from your parents genetically.
So the phenotype can be affected by growing conditions in different grow rooms. So from growing like here, one room down, you could have completely different phenotypes based on the environmental conditions.
That is a really good point. The environment definitely contributes to your terpene profile, the cannabinoid content, and even the way that the plants look.
Cool. But the genotype remains the same for each individual, like OG Kush. All the OG Kushes have a specific genotype.
Exactly. They have the same genetic background, and then how they look depends on how they're grown. And
I think that kind of wraps it up for me, at least as far as all the questions that I have for you. If there's anything you'd like to add, go for it.
Thank you for coming out to visit us. I hope that people are learning a little bit from the galaxy and figuring out what they're smoking. And then I just encourage everyone to take a look and see if you can find your favorite varieties and learn about the genetics behind them.
Cool.
So thank you.
Well, yeah, thanks again. And that's it for us. Bye for now.